going on, people? We're back at it again. Kings of Dysfunction, episode 8. We're missing 2 and 4. They're on assignment. But you get me and Bryce. We're still gonna chop it up about everything going on in the world of professional wrestling. Bryce, how you doing?
Good. How you doing this week?
Can't complain, man. All right.
I like the shirt this week.
Say what?
I like the shirt this week.
Oh, I appreciate it. You know how to represent. You still going with the same?
You already know.
There you go. All right. So kind of a big news topic this week was WWE possibly going back to a TV 14 rating.
Yeah.
For at least for SummerSlam. My assumption is that we're gonna get blood in the Brock Roman match.
Yep.
Do you think this is a good idea for them to go back to TV 14 long term?
I mean, we'll see how it goes. I feel like just because it's going back to TV 14, that don't mean it's gonna be the Attitude Era.
Right.
I feel like everybody was kind of hyping it up more than what they should have. I mean, it can be TV 14 and still be bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean that's not gonna fix the issue, the booking issues and the creative issues. Well, it might fix the creative issues because it might take some of the reins off the writers to be a little bit more expansive, expand the dialogue a little bit more.
Yeah, that they can actually talk like adults.
Yes, exactly.
But then, I don't want that to get too overdone either, because I feel like I hate to make the comparison, but like watching AEW, I feel like everybody uses one particular cuss word on that show, and it's like it don't mean anything. It's just said throughout the show,
right?
And it's kind of like it's another word basically. So I mean, I hope it doesn't get to like that point. But I mean, the blood, and again, same thing with AEW. Like I hope the blood is not overdone and
I don't mind blood. I just don't want blood like every week. And I feel like AEW tends to go to blood like once a week.
Or just from the same people.
Right. Moxley.
Yeah.
Moxley. It's like every big match he's going to blood. I don't think you need to go because at some point it's a law of diminishing returns and it just doesn't mean as much. So, but blood every 3 or 4 months and a big feud actually means something.
Mm-hmm.
So, so Sasha Banks is taking bookings. Apparently she's running the price up. So it appears that she's done. But again, I don't think they've confirmed it. But it seems to be like go away, and we'll just wait for the 90 days, and then we'll make it happen. So she's not taking any wrestling bookings, but she is taking outside bookings, and she's running the fee up. So if this is it for her, then she had a good run.
Yeah, I mean, hey, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I've been saying it for weeks. She, to me, is the best women's wrestler right now. Like, she can go put on a match with anybody and make it great.
Yeah.
She brings so much to the table. So, I mean, I think it was rumored like $30K or whatever it is. And I feel like people say that's crazy, but like when you really think about that, no, not really. Because that's like I said, the best women's wrestler that's out now. And I know it's for non-wrestling stuff, but like, I don't really know what her catalog is like outside of wrestling. If that commands that kind of money, but I mean, if you want her, that's what you want. Like,
you gotta know your price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
like, I don't have no problem with it. I don't think it's too high or too low or whatever. If she charged what she charged. I mean, if they don't like it, don't book her. But I think it's interesting though that she's taking non-wrestling bookings, because now I wonder, is that one of those like just one of those things where like WWE is starting to kind of come around to the money that's out there now that they no longer can control.
Yeah.
And is it kind of like a one-off where, okay, like we'll allow her to do this if she comes back? You know what I mean? Right. Is that why she's taking the non-wrestling bookings? But like I've also said, we'll find out in September.
So yeah, so she's taking non-wrestling bookings until like I think it's non-wrestling booking to the beginning of the year, so till January, and that makes me seem like, okay, it's this kind of a work shoot kind of thing where she's just gonna show up for the Rumble. You know what I mean?
I mean, could be she, getting time off again like she did last time. I really have no clue. But I feel like WWE's been going out their way to like take her out of videos. Because I know we'll talk about Raw in a minute, but yeah, they had a hype video with Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. They didn't even mention. I don't think they mentioned Belair main event in that WrestleMania.
They did, because I remember her catching a KOD. I remember they showed her catching a KOD, and that's it. Like,
no, okay, so that wasn't the video. Okay, I must have missed it. It must have been really quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they show her KODing her, and it was from far away, so it wasn't even like the hard camera. It was like from like the crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I heard they took her out of something else, so they've been slowly like wiping her.
Mm-hmm. You know what they did? I forgot to even mention this. I'm sorry, real quick. I noticed on the signature that's produced at the start of the show, there's one sound that's been back for a few weeks. They put that Ric Flair back in there.
Yes. So we can go ahead and move on to that. So, yeah, Ric Flair's back in the good graces of WWE. I know this is kind of old news, but still relevant because he has his last match next weekend. Yeah, so he's back in the good graces. I think they're doing a documentary on him. They seem to go through this love-hate kind of thing every couple years. Yeah,
I think this last time was from that Dark Side of the Ring that came out.
Yeah.
But then I feel like now I feel like that was worse than the Vince stuff. Like Vince stuff is just morally wrong, but like the Ric Flair stuff is like not only morally, it's just wrong. Like that stuff like that shouldn't happen. And it's like, well, distance, you know what I mean, for right now until like the heat dies down, because nobody's even talking about that anymore.
No, they're more so talking about his last match, and I think they're producing a documentary on his last match, or his just a documentary on him specifically. So his last match is him and Andrade against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Right. So and he's injured, but apparently Rick.
What? He's injured already?
Yeah.
Is it for the pacemaker?
No, apparently it's his foot, because that's what happened to 70-plus-year-old people when they run the ropes and take bumps. They get injured easily. So good luck to Rick.
Insane.
Good luck to Rick. Good luck to whoever has to carry that match. Jeff Jarrett.
I mean, I feel like probably Andrade and Jay Lethal will do most of the work.
Yeah.
Ric Flair will probably get like the Sting treatment. Or like he'll come in the match, take a couple of strikes, but no like actual bumps or whatever.
Right.
Until you get almost towards the end, he'll take a bump or two, and that'll probably be it. I can't imagine this is going to be like a 30-40 minute match. At best, this should probably go like 10-12 minutes.
Yeah. I can see a Ric Flair. I don't know what a Ric Flair hot tag looks like in 2022.
Yeah. Slow.
Just chops, right. Sell chops. And somebody's going to tap out. Jay Lethal's probably going to tap out to the figure 4.
I hope not. I really hope not. AEW ain't been doing that man no favors.
Yeah, I was like, what has he been doing where he needs to be protected? Is he still looking for Samoa Joe?
Bro, it's always got a pay-per-view. He fighting Samoa Joe for the belt. Come on, man. But yeah, always they have a show. I think it's Saturday. I don't even know because they barely are on AEW, and I'm pretty sure it's Saturday.
It's just another brand to bury. But let's just go ahead and move on to AEW Dynamite. So there was a surprise tag team title change last week.
Yes.
Swerve and Keith Lee, your new AEW tag team champions. Seems, I don't know. Like I don't get it. But apparently they're really high on the Shaq and Kobe dynamic. I don't know. I guess this was done. The Bucks were transitional champions. So therefore,
like, why?
Because I guess they didn't want Swerve and Keith Lee beating Jurassic Express. That's my only thought. So, what do you think about the title change as a whole?
I don't. I think a lot of things about it. I feel like you got a lot of people to appease in AEW, so like people can take turns with the belts, and they'll just play hot potato with the belts, and hang on to the belts for a few weeks and drop them. And it's just weird because I feel like Jurassic Express had the belts for so long that like, okay, hey, the Bucks beat them, and like you do nothing. Like they lose in like their first defense of the belt.
Yeah,
and it was like a match on TV that like the Bucks asked for. Like I just don't feel like that helped the Bucks at all. I don't. Keith Lee and Swerve, like it's cool that they won, but like I don't think they needed to win. I really, if you're gonna take the belts off of somebody and give it to somebody, I would have put it on Starks and Hobb. I feel like those two, they are so impressive when they're on screen, whether it's promos, whether it's matches, and it's like I don't feel like they get enough time every week. Like they could be doing a lot more with those two than what they're doing. And for whatever reason, they're not. Like, and I feel like the Keith Lee and Swerve story, like, what exactly are they getting to with them? It's like they tease like breakups or they can't work together, or if they're on the same page, they're great, but then when they're not, like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Like, it's just
it's kind of like a Shaq and Kobe dynamic where they like kind of the, you know, they don't like each other. Well, but when they do, they're unstoppable kind of thing. So I guess that's the dynamic they're going for. I know there was like a rumor where that they were going to do FTR versus Bucks for all the belts. Apparently, that was never in the plans.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing like what happened here, yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Because I mean, why else would you have the Bucks drop the belts, like get the belts and then drop them so soon? I think that more ties into like the Kenny Omega is coming back soon rumor, and we'll probably at that point get like trios titles at the next pay-per-view or something.
Like they really need more titles.
Yeah, it'll be all belts wrestling. Because then, okay, at that point, you're gonna run into the same issue that I feel like WWE has, where you have too many belts and not enough like time to put these on TV every week or put this on every pay-per-view. And it's like, at what point? Or I mean, the shows are just going to be so long. Like the shows are going to end up being like 6 hours. If you put every title on that, it's just an AEW title and whatever individual feuds they got going on, like that's going to be a very, very long show.
Yeah, like I don't see where the importance of the titles comes in, because you want to get you want to make sure your world title is spotlighted and highlighted. Yep. But I don't really feel like they do a good job of that. I feel like they showcase. I feel like they showcase their secondary titles more than their secondary titles more than their world championship. So I don't think they really put an emphasis on their world championship. And like you said, it's like there's not enough time. So if you have like 5 belts, are you going to put 5 belts on your show every week?
Right. And then every show is just all about titles, and nobody wants that. But I feel like their world title scene was kind of planned out for 2 years. Like there was an idea in mind of like this is, and everybody knew this is like where this is going. Like when Hangman got the belt, and then you see ever since that time, it's kind of just been like, well, what do we do now? Because I don't understand. Hangman had the belt, dropped it. He won't in a battle royal to fight for the belt or like for the chance to like be interim champion. And then he's back like with the Dark Order. So like, what are you doing with him? What other world title contenders do you have on your roster? But I feel like the TNT title, like the mid belt, is like they play hot potato with that belt too. When I look at how many people have held that title, they don't do anything with them. Like Cody actually did something when he was there and he had that belt. He, didn't really have too many stories going on, just more so like, I got an open challenge. Like, you tune in down, I'm gonna be the first match. This is what you're gonna see. Okay, cool. Right. And then it's kind of like as he, would lose the belt and go away, and whoever would have it wouldn't really do a whole lot with it. Scorpio Sky's had the belt twice, did nothing. I think Sammy's had the belt like 2 or 3 times and has done nothing with it. Darby, I think, had it maybe either the longest or the second longest reign. And like, I don't view him any differently. Miro had the belt, and it's like, again, what is he doing? You know what I mean? Right. That's a dude that could be a world champion. Like when he was in WWE, everybody kept saying, "Oh, it's a shame he didn't win the world title. He could be a world champion." And then now in another company, you see he's still like in the mid card, just doing whatever.
He's doing great character work. His character is great.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand why he's not put more into the main event scene or used more, in that aspect.
Right.
I don't know. I just have no clue what's happening in AEW to where they're really building anybody to do anything. Like I feel like they're just signing a lot of people that have a name that, well, you got to do something with them, but they're not really building towards anything.
Right. I think they were going to build. They're building their company around CM Punk.
I mean, it is, but like when he's hurt, what do you do?
Clearly, they don't know. Clearly, they didn't really have a plan here.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you're missing basically I can say top 2 in Omega and Punk. And like
that's tough for any. I mean, they'll be tough for WWE, but it's still to the point of you just make your primary, like John Moxley, like you would try to make your interim champion not seem like an interim champion. They make him seem like an interim champion.
Yeah.
So I don't know for here. I don't know any rumored matches for All Out. I know Kenny Omega's rumored to come back. But that might be in a tag team setting so he can get his legs under him. But I don't know what they're setting up for All Out. But they got
I feel like typically it's good, you know what I mean, if you can't predict what the card is going to be. But I feel like now this card might be a little disappointing. Just based on, like, I know, of course, dealing with injuries, that's always tough. But just looking at the roster that they have, like, it really shouldn't feel the way that it does. Like, I have no clue who Keith Lee and Swerve are about to run through. Because I feel like they've pretty much beaten everybody in the tag division in the last, like, 2 to 3 months.
So, naturally, probably Starks and Hobbs will get the first title defense.
But, like, I wouldn't beat them for a third time in, like, 2 months. Because, I mean, they just lost that match at Double or Nothing. They lost that match last week. I wouldn't want to beat them for a third. Because then at the same time, okay, look at the ranking system. What's the point of having this if, like, they're constantly losing title matches? Like, and you don't really move in the rankings. because you're picking up 2 wins a week on the internet, but then you're just losing title matches. Like, what's the point of this? So
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't even know, because they're not going to beat FTR. They're not going to FTR. I don't even know who, unless Blackpool Combat Club, like maybe Claudio and Danielson.
So Claudio's actually fighting for the ROH title against Jonathan Gresham.
Hey, help me understand that. I don't understand.
I don't understand. I was watching Rampage, and then Claudio just came out after the match, and then they were just like, "Oh, like it's gonna be made official. This will be the match for the ROH World Title." And I'm like, "Well, why?" But I mean, like Ring of Honor don't have television, so it's just kind of like we can get you 30 minutes a week between the 3 hours that AEW has, and hope for the best.
Yeah. So okay, I know this is not ROH fantasy booking, but why would so clearly Claudio's winning? Like, because
I would assume so.
Because otherwise, then what are we doing? I don't know. He's a name. They brought him in.
Yeah, because they did mention like he was never world champion in Ring of Honor, so it's like, oh, maybe they're gonna do that and try to, build that company around him. Maybe I have no clue.
Don't even know. See, then the ROH stuff gets muddled in the AEW stuff.
But right, yeah, that's why I have more questions than I have answers.
So, Wardlow's the TNT champion. I think you brought that up earlier. I guess he's just going to run through everybody until.
Wardlow might quite possibly be the worst booked wrestler in the business right now.
Talk to me.
Whatever they did with him with the MJF feud was great, and everything they've done since is terrible. Yeah, that match that he just had with Orange Cassidy, I don't get that. Like, you got Wardlow just wrecking people. I mean, he just beat 20 fake security guards, right?
Right.
Ran through a bunch of people, beat Scorpio Sky convincingly. He beat this man in I don't know if it was, it was a street fight where they didn't leave the ring, and just beat him convincingly in short order. A dude that had the belt for the second time, and he just beat him convincingly. To my knowledge, I don't think Orange Cassidy has won a title yet in AEW.
Yes, not.
So I don't know, did you actually watch the match?
I did not.
Okay. Well, Wardlow is cooperating and playing the games that Orange Cassidy likes to play, and with the stupid little kicks and the pockets. And I think like at one point early in the match, like Orange Cassidy put his hands in his pockets, got the crowd hype, and then Wardlow just calmly took his hands out of his pockets and then ripped the actual pockets off of his pants. And then Wardlow pulled his straps down and flexed on him. And Orange Cassidy just walked right up to him and just pulled his straps back up. And I'm like, what is this? This has to be a joke. And this match went through a commercial break. Like, it was a pretty long match. To me, it went longer than I thought it should have. I'll put it that way. And I'm just like, why? Like, this dude's been running through people. And this is what you do. Like, Orange Cassidy is a dude that you struggle with. A dude that looks like he's 150 pounds. And I'm just like, man, that to me did Wardlow no favors. I don't think anything hurts Orange Cassidy. Like, there's nothing you can do to make him look bad.
Right. Yeah, they've had this Orange Cassidy problem a lot. So maybe this is the end of it, and they can just kind of move him down. I mean, he's a good wrestler. He's good in his role, but probably should stick to the lower to mid card and stick with the comedy stuff, because when you start integrating that into your world title or a guy that you're wanting to push to the moon in Wardlow, like you said, it kind of just starts to make him look stupid.
Yeah, and I mean, they did the whole thing with Orange Cassidy and Jericho. Well, that's supposed to elevate him and like show that he can be more than just comedy and be taken serious and be, you know, more of a mid-card main event kind of guy. And where did that go? They went nowhere.
Right.
Because they signed more ex-WWE guys, pushed Orange Cassidy to the side. They've done nothing. He's in the same place he was when he got there.
So, yeah. So hopefully Wardlow can just move on to something better.
Yeah.
So I guess the last thing we'll talk about AEW related is this apparent barbed wire match between Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about that? I know your feelings on the way Jericho has been booked in AEW, but what do you think about this barbed wire match with Eddie Kingston?
So I feel like the whole concept of it, Eddie Kingston, that man said he's still not finished with Chris Jericho. But literally at the end of Blood and Guts, you were on top of the cage with this man and did nothing. Remember I said that like weeks ago. Yeah. So like, how can you have that opportunity and then talk about you not finished with him? You could have just threw him off the cage and been done. But no, you didn't. And then now there's some barbed wire, shark cage something because it's Shark Week. And did you know you knew about that, the shark cage?
I did not know about that.
Yeah, so in the shark cage, they're going to put the Jericho appreciators above the ring in a shark cage. And then I don't even know what the hell the rules are for this. Is this exploding barbed wire? Is it like the ropes will just be barbed wire? I have no clue how this is going to work. But all I know is this to me is something I would expect from like WWE, in all honesty. When you have huh?
And not in a good way.
Right. This to me is like on par with that zombie thing during the Thunderdome era.
And people kill the product.
I mean, like they played that up as best they could by having the zombies in the audience and whatever. Okay, like I got it. And again, at the time, like I know it sucked, it looked terrible, but it's just one of those like you got a sponsorship. Like, what can you do? And this is what they chose to do for Shark Week. Again, so it's just like, for what?
Now, when you have to answer hey, Jeffrey's Angel. When you have to, she follows us on the cruising channel. But when you have to adhere to sponsors and the network.
Yep.
So now people are finding out like this ain't easy. This starting a wrestling company and you're going to be like going rogue, and it don't work like that because you still got people to answer to as well. So
yep.
Now, are they having this match on TV or are they going to have it at
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is supposed to be on Dynamite this week.
Tonight?
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about that next. I might actually watch that one. Maybe. All right. Anything else from AEW?
Give me 1 second. I just want to double check. Make sure I didn't miss anything. No. Okay. There's nothing on the first night of Fyter Fest that I cared about. Oh, yeah, I thought on Rampage. I thought House of Black. Man, there was one part in that match. They kind of, to me, again, went a little bit too long with the Dark Order because it was Brody King and Aleister Black. I'm like, Brody King was just fighting for the world title, so we shouldn't struggle against them. But there's one point in the match, Aleister Black went to break up a pin. He jumped off the top rope and kicked Brody King in the back.
I don't think that's
just
like that.
But I mean, it didn't look like it was like unintentional. Like he intentionally kicked Brody King in the back to like I guess give him momentum to break up the pin. But I'm like, by the time you climb the top rope, like you could have just got in the ring and like.
Sometimes you try to make stuff look cool. Like sometimes, like when you're going over to plan another match, you're like, "Hey man, this will be cool." And then when like the execution is like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but
and it was nice to see Private Party again. I don't know what they've been doing, but
I think hasn't somebody been hurt?
No, they've been killing it on the internet.
Oh,
I don't,
snap.
ladies and gentlemen, I don't watch Dark or Elevation. I don't have that kind of
There's enough wrestling during the week to watch that we just can't.
Yeah. Already having to sit through 3 hours of AEW and God forbid 3 hours of Raw. That's already torturous enough.
And we don't watch Main Event either. So
yes. Yeah. Just so people know, I don't watch Main Event. I don't check the results. But for the people that say you should watch it, are y'all watching Main Event too? I'm pretty sure some of those wrestlers.
Put it down in the comments below if you are watching Main Event in AEW Dark. Tell her we're missing something and we might check it out.
Well, yeah, if we're missing something, please let us know what we need to be looking for.
Absolutely.
But, Private Party, they've just been stacking wins per usual on the internet, out of sight, out of mind. The last thing I remember them doing was something with like Matt Hardy, and I don't even remember what the follow-up was for that. It's just like Jeff came in and then
that was weeks ago.
Bro, that was months ago.
All right, so moving on from AEW, we're gonna go to SmackDown. So
SmackDown.
I know I ruined this for you on Friday night.
Also, okay. I mean, I still went back and watched it, so it's all good.
Major spoiler. So Jeff Jarrett is the special guest referee between the Usos and the Street Profits. Angelo Dawkins faced Jimmy Uso. There was a it was a controversial ending that's too coincidental. Like it was just okay, whatever. Where Jimmy Uso's shoulder was up and the ref didn't see it. Like that's a little silly. But so then,
why did they not have that match and that finish after Money in the Bank, like that Raw or SmackDown right after? It's weird to me to put that particular finish to a match when you've already announced that they need a special referee.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of that finish to that match? The only thing I was disappointed with, though, I mean, I didn't really like the finish. Like I said, given, what they already announced, I hated the fact they announced Jeff Jarrett and he's like not even there.
Yeah, they put a video package out for him, like.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like we're gonna see Jeff Jarrett, and then like a video plays, and I'm like, okay, well, he'll at least like come out.
Yeah,
and then it's like, no.
Because there was like 3 minutes left in the like 3 or 4 minutes left in the show. So there, it was like, all right, so he's just gonna appear on the stage. No, we just get the brawl. We just get the stereotypical brawl, and
and then
the show. So I just sometimes they make simple stuff hard. I don't really think this was hard. I really don't think they had to do like the shoulder up again finish, because that almost never happens, and you made it happen like two times in like 3 weeks. And so it's just like, there's another avenue they could have went.
Or I don't know, just have the referee miss something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I mean, we see it plenty of times where referees take bumps and like, or somebody hit their finisher, and then the crowd gets to count. They can count to 100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by the time the referee comes, like he slowly counts to 2, and of course, guy kicks out, and then maybe the heel cheats while the referee is still coming to, and it's like, well, they didn't see that. Like, it's so many ways that they could have done something creative with this and didn't. You just go to the same finish that, like you said, rarely, if ever, happens. And it's like, why? What was the point of this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't really feeling that.
Yeah, that was. I mean, obviously, I like both teams, but it's just I wish the belt booking was just a tad bit better with them. I don't have a problem with Jeff Jarrett being the special guest referee. He's from Nashville. I don't know what people would have been expecting, but I thought the Sami Zayn tease was good enough.
Right.
You couldn't. I don't really think you could make it. You could not have made it Sami Zayn because at that point it's just it just kind of turns into a comedy match. So I'm okay with Jeff Jarrett. Being the guest referee. So your girl Liv Morgan beat Natalya. Hit her finisher this week again.
Did you actually watch the match though?
I did.
What did you think of the actual match?
I mean, it was okay. It was okay. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was just okay.
I'm just asking, considering like they've been working house shows, and that's the match they put on TV.
Well, there was this thing about I don't know if you saw where Natalya walked out of a house show. So maybe they just don't have, just some wrestlers just don't have good chemistry together. Like Rhea Ripley and Asuka, they're individually they're both talented, but they never had good matches because they didn't really have any chemistry. Maybe it's just one of those things where Liv and Natalya don't really have any chemistry. And I know like the easy thing to do is to blame Liv since Natalya's just seen as this like locker room leader, like always in the right spot at the right time. But maybe sometimes wrestlers just don't have the chemistry to put on, 3.5-star matches.
Yeah. This is what I mentioned about Liv. Like, I don't dislike Liv. I think she's good, but this is what I'm saying. She don't have like that extra to her. Like, I feel like she's just now, after 7 or 8 years, wrestled enough to be able to get through a match to like remember spots. But I don't feel like she's actually wrestling matches. Like the psychology of it, the why you do this or why you do that. I feel like she can get through and execute spots like in a rehearse, but I don't feel like if you try to call anything to her in the ring, you're gonna get, I don't even want to say botches, but like I don't know, it's just not gonna be a natural thing to her yet.
Yeah. Just
like, I feel like
everything looks a step off.
Yes. Like it looks like everything is like, okay, we're gonna go out here and do this. And then it's like you get to the moment and like, oh no, your opponent tripped. Well, I was supposed to leapfrog her. Well, what do I do now? And it's like, well, just get on her and rerun it or whatever. You know what I mean? But it just looked kind of like a step behind. And I feel like Natty is more so like able to walk through a match and call it versus let's just go do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Liv had a really good match with Becky Lynch a couple, like beginning of the year, I think. But if, like you said, it does seem like stuff is just even though the match with Becky was good, it still seemed like it's just something's like a half a step off with her.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just in big matches she gets nervous, or she's just been. I think she said this last week. She's just been put in this spotlight now. So, I'm a Liv fan. I think she's great. And like I said, I think you for the most part like Liv. It's just hopefully. I'm afraid for this match at SummerSlam with Ronda.
Yeah, right. And see that's kind of my point though. Is like, yes, she's a champion. Yes, she's been wrestling for a while. Yes, she's been in the WWE system for a while. But that's why I was saying last week, like, what do you learn in that system? Like, this is why I think it's good for people to kind of either come from the indies or work in developmental for a while, but like work in front of people. They don't have to be on TV in NXT, but they need to be like on NXT house shows, at WWE house shows. Even if they're just out there jobbing to somebody, that's perfectly fine. They just need the
I
experience
think
of it.
in NXT, she wasn't in NXT as long compared, she wasn't in NXT as long as Bianca,
Right.
Or Alexa Bliss, or Carmella. But I see it. I just need her to put it together in the ring.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. It's like she got, and that's my thing with her. She got flashes of like where she's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, it's just too inconsistent. It's like she can do something really good. And then you see 3 or 4 matches that's like everything is off. And then, but I see this one really good one. And then I see 3 or 4 that's off. And I'm just like, why? Like she has it, but I just don't know what it is that it's not clicking fully yet.
Right.
But I mean, I'm hoping everything, will get better with her, that the quality and everything picks up.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta push them and then hope the in ring comes in later. If not, you can cut bait, and there's nothing wrong with it.
And I'm interested in this SummerSlam match because I know this ain't something that's going to be called in the ring.
Oh no, they're going to get down to Nashville on like Thursday.
Yeah. Let's practice this every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, whatever. Because it's no way.
Yeah, I'm a little because Ronda's good, but Ronda's not like a natural worker. So
yeah, all of her stuff is stiff.
Yes. So it's
like she'll judo throw somebody for real.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say this. I feel like might end up looking kind of like I'm not saying that it was a bad match, but the Sasha Banks Ronda Rousey from Royal Rumble, where it's like, what's happening here? It was a few times in that match where I'm like, damn, she just like threw it to the ground, or like she's like really hitting. Like, what is she doing? Like with Ronda, I'm saying, and I'm like, man, Sasha's really good. She can walk you through. She can make it look great, but like, I've never seen this. And like I said, it wasn't a bad match. It just looked like a few times like Ronda is like legit like tossing her around.
Right.
And I'm like, I feel sorry for Liv. Like, I'm just praying she don't get hurt or nothing.
Yeah, and I also don't know how they're gonna. I guess we can talk about this more next week. It's 2 baby faces, and one of them's really liked, and the other one's not. Yeah. So I guess Ronda's gonna play the heel. I don't know.
I have no clue.
Yeah, so we'll see how they set this up, because also the mic skills of Ronda Rousey is not great. So I don't know how they're gonna build this matchup in a good way. Liv wasn't all that great either, but so Paul Heyman, we got to bring him up almost every week. Has a backstage segment with Theory, tries to convince him not to cash in on Roman Reigns. Obviously, Theory not taking that advice. So,
man,
good backstage segment. I kind of like the story of Paul trying to convince Theory, but
I like Theory, man. To me, I think he's been one of the best booked people in WWE.
Well,
like right now,
when the owner is behind you, that kind of tends to.
It does, but this is. I'm trying to think how to say this the right way, but to me, it reminds me of like how stuff was in the Attitude Era. So this dude had a belt, lost it, and is still trying to get it back. But he also got a guaranteed shot for the world title whenever he wanted.
Yeah.
Plus, he got a feud with Dolph Ziggler. Like somebody picked a fight with him, and then he's going after like Roman and Brock, and you got the Usos in his way. So it's like this literally could go in so many different ways,
right?
Because it's like, well, I still want my belt back, but then I also want this title. But then this dude got a problem with me, and I got a problem with these dudes. Like, to me, it's just good to be able to go in so many different directions. But yes, I thought that promo segment was just genius because now when you talk about, okay, don't cash in, like you'll need an advocate, and he's like, no, I'm gonna cash in, but then I might need an advocate after.
Yeah,
And then
I did think that was good.
I'm like, okay, so wait, do they do that now? Do you take Paul Heyman away from Roman and put him with Theory?
And then make Roman a face?
I'm like, man.
No, but they need Roman heel against Dwayne. So that's not going to happen.
Yeah. That's if we get Dwayne. Dwayne, if you're watching or you see this, we miss you, bro.
Hey, man.
I just need one. I just need you to have one more.
One, bro.
Just one. And I'm going to be there.
These shows going to be in LA next year. So we need you there.
Yeah, we need you. We expect you. You got to be there.
He drinks your vodka, by the way. So,
tequila.
Jeez. Sorry, Dwayne. Still come back.
Yeah.
Oh, and Madcap Moss and Theory had a match.
That to me, that actually, like, not necessarily in the match quality or anything. That to me looked like the future of WWE right there in that match. I mean, I hope it don't, but that could be the next Randy Orton, John Cena.
Yeah, if we can just change Madcap Moss's name in his ring gear, I think we might be on something.
What's wrong with his ring gear?
Bro, it is like Creative Player 99 ring gear.
I mean, he just got the generic black trunks.
Bro, I can go on 2K right now and create a Madcap Moss like right now on 2K.
I mean, it is, but like he don't have a logo or he don't really have a definitive name either. So like, what kind of gear can you get?
I don't know. They need to change. Like, they're high on them. Again, they need stars, so push people. I don't mind you pushing people, but they're gonna need to change his name and look. Cause that ain't, they can miss me with the black tights and the, like, he's not Goldberg. Like, so
yeah. But I mean, to me, like, he still is young and got a lot of time to figure it out. I mean, hell, I'm pretty sure if they knew what John Cena was like when he first debuted, he probably would have debuted as a rapper. But that probably would have just fell flat.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I kind of like just letting this kind of be what you are just for a little bit and see where it goes until you really figure it out. Like, just put you out there in front of the people.
Yeah, but they're like, this is as strong as an endorsement as I've seen them have of him.
Yeah.
Calling him the future. Yeah. And I don't think that was a mistake on commentary. I think that was Vince coming through. So they got plans for him. I just hope, at some point they change his name and gear. So trying to just hit the important things. Rich Holland didn't hurt anybody this week. Rich Holland. Him and Drew McIntyre had a match. Drew came out unscathed and didn't get hurt, so that's good.
That's right. The New Day, man. Can't forget the New Day.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out whether to bring that up or not. So, yes, the New Day dresses up as the Viking Raiders and have a surprise attack.
Yeah, I mean, it's the typical New Day comedy. The only thing that I appreciate was Kofi's line about, bro, you're supposed to be a Viking, not a pirate. Like, that was actually pretty funny. So, like, little stuff like that makes me laugh, but then I'm just like, what's the point? Like, why? Why are they doing this?
I think that was one of my things the whole time. Was like, what's the point of this?
And like, bro, they just beat them down like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so
and you want to mock them, like, for what?
I just, again, like New Day, we love New Day here. It's just wish they were. I don't know what they're doing with New Day the last 6 months.
I don't think they really have any creative direction because there's no dynamic to the team anymore. Like, I feel like New Day was always Big E and somebody.
Right.
If they're winning, Big E and Kofi. If they're losing, Big E and Woods. And it's like with Woods and Kofi, they're kind of the same size. Woods is a bit like more muscular.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? What kind of story do you tell with two kind of smaller guys? There's not the big guy and the little guy. So it's like, what do you do with that? But then I mean, I would take it a lot more seriously. I mean, Kofi's been a world champion. Woods was king of the ring. Like, that's credibility. Like, they could beat anybody.
Right. Multiple time tag champions.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like, I like to see, like, I like the Viking Raiders. I like that they're, getting TV time and getting a push. I just feel like you can put Shaky and Jinder Mahal in that role, or Los that, like, you can put other people in this role to just get steamboat. But ultimately, where's this going? Because the Usos have the tag belts. They're not dropping those anytime soon. So what do we? I don't.
And then it's like, if you beat the Usos, who do you beat them with?
You can't beat them with a Viking. Like, they're trending towards Viking Raiders. Like, in a normal situation, you see them building up the tag team, running through everybody to beat the champions. But the champions are involved with the main guy of the company, so they're not going to beat them anytime soon. And I don't think you will beat them with the Viking Raiders, who are supposedly heel. So I just no direction. There's just seemingly no direction. We just show up at TV every week, and we just see what happens. See what the crazy old man throws together. Gunther is still chopping Lil Wig. Kaiser. My man can't get no breaks. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for we'll end with this. Maximum Male Models.
Oh no, we can't end SmackDown with that. Maximum Male Models, I'm hyped next week to see who's gonna be Maxine Dupree. It's like, I don't know why, but like, to me it's something about like Max Dupree that's funny to me. Like, I actually like the character.
Yeah, it's working. He's always been a good talker. He was a good talker in NXT. So
I feel like that's what it is. Like, he was Eli Drake, great talker. LA Knight, great talker. It's just a funny like way to present him, but like it's really a funny gimmick. Like, but he pulls it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to end SmackDown on. Just want to finish with more Aaliyah hate.
Oh yeah.
It's like they have nothing for you to do for months, and now you've been on TV 2 weeks in a row in canceled matches. Amazing. That's what the company thinks of you.
Hey man, you never know. You just gotta come to TV. You gotta come to TV every week.
Well, when you're her, I guess. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Monday Night Raw. What's the purpose of the Titus O'Neil opening?
Man, listen, when I cut on Raw and it was like black and then it just cuts to Titus O'Neil, I'm like, well, that was weird. And then as they do the normal opening, they're like, oh, they're in Tampa. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Titus was there. And then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then I actually went back and thought about what he was saying. And I'm like, no, nothing in this statement makes any sense. But
yeah, it was like,
this to me looks about as well, or should be as well perceived as him and Hulk Hogan hosting WrestleMania,
where Titus looked very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
this honestly just seems like instead of Vince coming out and doing a PR tour, he sent Titus O'Neil out. Who nobody hates Titus O'Neil. He's in his hometown. So let's just talk about, we're not divisive here, and that's why we don't talk about politics and religion. I'm like,
You literally, some of your best storylines, or not even best, but some of the funniest storylines, Vince McMahon versus God, like that was, I just remember that so clearly. Like that was such a funny storyline to me. Because it's like you put Shawn Michaels in a tag match with him and God versus Vince and Shane. Like, come on, bro.
On surface, that's hilarious. Like,
right.
It is hilarious. But like you said, it is a religious angle. Hey, Rally Creative, thank you for being here. On surface, it's just strange.
Yeah.
This Titus promo, it was just.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand the point of it.
Again, I feel like this is just like Vince had a bad news week. So, and we're in Tampa. Oh, let's just run Titus out here to give this, just let him fall on the shield. And Titus didn't look all that comfortable doing it either.
Yeah, I wish that they would have just put it like, you know what? I probably would have been fine with it if it was like later in the show and there was like some kind of video package or something about, because Titus did mention like something about at the ESPYs or something that he's supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
If there was like a video package in the show and it brought up like what Titus was going to be doing, or just to highlight him and what he's done, where he can talk about like, oh, I'm grateful to be here, like in my hometown, and to, you know, kind of transition to this role, and I'm happy I get to do this, and this, and this is what I love about this role, that is not a divisive thing. We don't talk about X, Y, and Z. In the role, that makes sense. As a company, no, it don't make sense.
Yeah, it was just it was like we got a USA chant started, like this is like, it was just strange. Like, I honest to goodness had to see, is there a holiday that I'm missing? Like,
yeah.
Like, I had to make sure this wasn't like 4th of July. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like
the Bobby Lashley.
yeah, like this was just strange. Like, if they would have had this promo on July 4th, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Independence Day. We come together as a country. Yeah. Okay, fine. We're not divisive. Come together as a country. Great, whatever. But on July 18th, when I don't know, like it was frustrating to see that Titus have to go out there, and they just seem to throw Titus in these roles where they have to, you know, fall on the shield. Like, oh, you have to deal with the whole Hogan situation. Or now it's like you have to roundabout in a way deal with the Vince situation. It's like I hope they're well compensating that man.
I would hope so.
All right. So moving on to the actual show, Becky Lynch comes out, cuts a good promo. Bianca comes out, cuts a retort. They do the heels. Then Carmella comes out. Heels double team the babyface. The babyface, for some idiotic reason, starts the match while hurt. Bianca ends up winning.
I do want to say she gave her that manhandle slam and it went to commercial, and Bianca was selling. I couldn't imagine what that looked like in the arena. How do you sell? And it's not like she had wrestled a match or something. Like, you're fresh, you're ready to go. I understand this move took you out of SummerSlam, but that's like you're not expecting it. Becky's never used it. Cool. Why is she selling this for such a long time? They're like, they come back from commercial and then they're just starting the match like that. I really wonder like what happened, like actually in the audience. Yeah. You like going to shows, you don't really notice the commercials like that.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know why they did it. It's just like, sometimes just have people run through people. Like we didn't need like a 12-minute match with Carmella. Like nobody believes she was actually winning. So just run through her in 5 minutes. Just hit her with a KOD and let's get to SummerSlam. That's how I've been asking that for 3 weeks. Let's just get to SummerSlam. So they have a post match where Becky brings in the belt, throws the belt to the ground. Kind of makes Bianca look silly.
I love that.
So
because that's exactly what Charlotte did.
That's the first thing I thought. That's the first thing I thought.
And I was like, see, that's how you throw a belt on the ground as a heel and do it as a heel. And it actually looks like something and you get something out of it.
Yeah. But
you don't just kind of drop it and whatever.
Yeah. So now we got the match we've been asking for however long.
We just got it at WrestleMania, but we get it a year later. I ain't mad.
Yeah. Again, comes full circle. I think that's what they call long-term booking.
Because oh my God, Bianca was buried when she lost that match, and they're not letting her get her comeback. And I'm like, she's just gonna win it at WrestleMania.
And I get people have been fractured with the Kofi stuff. Like I get that, but it's like you can kind of see they see her differently than Kofi. You know what I mean?
Well, her rank on the women's side is a lot higher than Kofi's.
Right. So
it's no reason why she.
There wasn't a Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns kind of like. So they were fading out of Kofi. You know, I hated the way it happened, but people were just fractured about the Kofi situation. Just like, all right, just chill out, and Bianca worked her way back, so we get it full. She wins at Mania, and her and Becky go at it again. I don't think this is going to end in 26 seconds, but
no.
maybe Bianca hits her with a KOD and pins her in like 24 seconds. Who?
Maybe.
So Seth Rollins and Riddle setting up their match. Seth Rollins had to help with KO, who's awesome as always, and gives Riddle 2 stumps. So that sets up that match at SummerSlam, which kind of low-key was announced, but like you knew it was coming, but it's kind of shows like, oh yeah, by the way, they're wrestling at SummerSlam.
It's like they announced it and then they had Riddle on the KO show, and I'm like, why wouldn't they just save this and announce it on the show?
Right. And then,
I thought it was so funny. Kevin Owens asked that man, like, you can be a tag team.
So then Ezekiel gets in Seth's face backstage. Then Ezekiel, obviously they challenge Ezekiel challenges Seth to a match. Seth beats Ezekiel in a long TV match, which I also thought was a half step off in some spots.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch it because they just wrestled like the week before. So
it was a good TV match, but it was a couple of spots that were like, oh, this is a little off, and it's like it's like
I forward there. But I did have a question, like the order. So like, didn't Seth attack Riddle on the KO show where he's already in the ring?
Yes.
Goes backstage, and then didn't they have the next match?
I think so. I just watched it.
So like,
yeah.
Why not just have Ezekiel in the segment?
Right, and they can do whatever they can do with that. I guess they want to change their format because they usually go to like, okay, well, we're gonna have a match right after the break. You know what I mean, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do think there was a segment in between the match. So I don't think they went directly to it once the backstage segment happened.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember like another match, but yeah, maybe it was a segment. But I don't know, just weird. I feel like I heard Seth his music the backstage, and then I feel like I heard his music again. But
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to go back and watch Raw, and there's no way I'm doing that.
Facts. So they got the Damian Priest Rey Mysterio match.
Yep.
Again, another good TV match. So they teased Dominic joining the Judgment Day. I liked this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did too. I just wish they would have did one thing different in that segment. When instead of like after he was like, okay, I'll join, and then they're like, okay, and then like they beat him up. I wish they would have gave him the chair and be like, okay, hit your father.
Yeah,
and then that he hits them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of sort of outsmart them.
Yeah. Yeah,
to where like then they have a reason to still want to beat him down.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I thought it was just weird to be like, okay, we want you to join us. We're gonna force you to join us, and then it's like, actually, no, we're just kidding. Like, what's the point of that?
I thought that was good. I thought that was good. So it's Judgment Day versus the Mysterios next week. They're celebrating Ray's 20th anniversary with WWE in Madison Square Garden. I low-key kind of see Dominic turning next week. Do you think they just flat out beat Judgment Day and just kind of celebrate Ray, which is probably the right thing to do, but or does Edge get involved here?
Okay, if they book the Mysterios to win, I can see a situation where like the Batista Randy Orton, like when he's on his shoulders, Dominic put Ray on his shoulders, like we celebrating, and then he just kind of drops him.
Yeah.
And like Judgment Day get in the ring and just beat him. But then I'm like, well, they just kind of did that to Edge. But then I'm like, well, then that also could be a spot where like Edge will come back, and then we get a tag at SummerSlam of Edge and Ray against Damian Priest and Finn. But like, I'm just not hyped for Edge's return, bro. These videos, it's clear that it's Edge now. Like it's clear. But like, I don't know. Why go through all this, man? The dude ain't even been gone that long.
Because he's Edge, and they gotta treat it like a big deal. I don't know, but I don't know where they're. I know it's Edge. I just don't know where they're going. Like I don't.
Right.
I just don't know where they're going. Like I don't understand the vignette. So it's not going to be normal smiling Edge. It's going to be, I assume, Brood Edge, but I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be more of like all of Edge. So like Brood, Rated R Superstar, and like him being a babyface that does heel stuff, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I can see him being that, but it's just like, okay, but he comes back and beats Judgment Day. What are they doing with Judgment Day? Because like you can't have them lose. Like you just can't. That's gonna kill them instantly. That they kick this dude out and then he'll come back and beat them.
Yeah, so is this a match between Edge and Finn at SummerSlam?
That's what I'm saying. None of this makes any sense to me. There's not a lot of time to build to this because I mean, there's Raw and then there's the pay-per-view. So like, you got to have something. I mean, that's why, like I said, I was thinking it'd just be a tag match. That way you can put Ray on the show, Edge on the show, and if they lose, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? But then it's just, where do you take this feud?
Right. So theoretically, Edge is going to be back on Monday. They're bringing him in, but there's no guarantee he's going to be on the show. But why would you bring him in? Why would you bring him to New York if you're not going to put him on the show? Like, and if you are leading to a SummerSlam match, it has to be Monday.
Yeah.
So
it has to. I mean, there's no other opportunity.
Right. So unless this is not leading to a SummerSlam match and they're saving it, but what are you saving it for?
Clash at the Castle? No, thank you.
No, like you just no. I don't. So I don't know. Like you said, I don't know what they're doing here. I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's kind of like a little unpredictable. But at the same time, like you just want to see, like you want to see some type of direction where the stuff is going. And I have no idea.
And to be honest, that's why SummerSlam feels the way it does. We're getting a WrestleMania rematch in Becky and Bianca, a WrestleMania rematch of Brock and Roman, Seth and Riddle, which, I mean, it should be a fun match. Just the feud is kind of like whatever.
Right.
The Usos and the Profits for like, I don't know how many times I've seen this. Is there anything else on the show?
Lashley and Theory.
Yeah, I was going to say Lashley, which we just got at the last pay-per-view like 3 weeks ago.
Corbin McAfee.
Okay, I actually care about that.
That's all I got. So yeah, I feel like they have to put Edge on the show.
Right.
And I think it may have been one of those things where they were really thinking Cena was going to work this. And then I think he gave them not much notice that he wasn't going to work it. And they're kind of scrambling.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't seem like they've given this show much thought. And again, this is why you don't put it at the end of July. Like,
well, I mean, they're running that pay-per-view at the first weekend in September.
But I get it. But I would rather have this on the back end of I'd rather have this like maybe 3 weeks before Clash at the Castle or 2 weeks before Clash at the Castle than 3 weeks after Money in the Bank. Yeah.
So, we might end up with Drew and Sheamus at SummerSlam unless they put that
you're gonna get Drew and Sheamus at SummerSlam again. Don't want to go back to too much to SmackDown, but you don't have to do all these shenanigans. Just say they're gonna wrestle at SummerSlam. Like you don't.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought. You would announce that and then just let Sheamus goons try to soften up Drew, and that's it.
Yeah, it's straightforward. It is straightforward. You don't need all these other, shenanigans.
It's insane to me, the booking. Like, I really just would have did it that way. You fight. I was about to say Pete Dunne. You fight Butch. You fight Ridge Holland, and then you fight them in a handicap match where you win by disqualification, but they're going to beat you down. That way it looked like going into the match, like the next night, oh, hey, you don't got a chance. And then, but no, they're just making this so much harder than what it needs to be.
Yeah, that seems the kind of the prevailing theme of both shows is that they're just making stuff harder than what it needs to be. And again, I say this almost every week. I don't see why you release so many people. Like, This isn't so.
Yeah.
I don't know. So just kind of going through other stuff on the show. The Angelo Dawkins, Amos, Street Profits, Usos, MVP, like just
so,
not good.
I didn't mind playing on the referee missed something. It's like you missed it on one end and caught it on the other. Great. But then you have the match and it's just like, bro, wow. None of this makes any sense to me.
And there was disqualification. Like they both ended in disqualification. And I asked y'all last week, why did they beat Angelo Dawkins?
Yeah, there's no reason.
There's no reason because like you're still not teasing the breakup. I know y'all were saying like, yeah, it's a good way to tease the breakup, but they didn't tease the breakup. Like they just literally had him lose
Yeah.
For no reason.
I'm just saying, like, if he's the one, like, if they're going to have Dawkins just take L's and then lose at the pay-per-view and then do it that way, like he's the weak link, okay, if that's the ending result, but like you just had 2 matches ending DQ for what? That didn't help anybody.
So yeah, so if they would have had the Dawkins thing, like if they would have had the Dawkins lose to almost this week and then lose again at the pay-per-view and just take this silliness out of it, then okay, it makes sense that it eventually leads to Montez, turning. But this didn't make any sense. I hate it. I hated this. I hated last week when you had an obvious just let R-Truth take the pin, but you beat the guy in the tag team match, and then you move on to this week where this is where having 3 hours of Raw sucks, because now you literally just wasted 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So AJ Styles beat Theory via countout again. Like, this goes back to why is Dolph Ziggler here?
Which is good though, because to be honest, it's still keeping me interested that like Dolph is there, but like he's not saying anything.
Right, and like it kind of makes the ref look like a dingus, because when AJ got rolled back in the ring, Theory was standing up.
Yeah.
You turn around, he's on the ground. Like,
maybe he slipped on the apron or something.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I thought that was kind of funny. Like I didn't really mind it too much, because I said it's a way to kind of beat Theory without really beating him, but keeping this going. I just want to shout out Theory though. That promo he cut before the match, you didn't say anything profound, but you proved a lot. You proved a hell of a lot more than most people on the roster, because most people on the roster do not have the presence of mind to control the crowd the way he did. The way that he came out and cut the promo with the cadence to talk about the youngest, what, and Money in the Bank, what, and I'm great, what, you people gonna stop? You gonna stop whatting me? Yeah. And then now I'm gonna speed up my promo and talk about I'm the youngest and I got money in the bank and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. And then you come back and you bring the people into it. When you talk about nobody likes me right now. I got problems with Roman Reigns. What? Brock Lesnar. What? Dolph Ziggler. What? And I'm like, see, that is how you can control that. But most people on the roster don't have that kind of presence of mind. They just sit there and got to remember lines and just whatever they're told. And they just, as they're remembering, that's the cadence they have to deliver it in. And it's like, you're going to keep getting whatted and nobody's going to care what you're saying. But I thought that was just masterful that he had the slow cadence, sped it up to get in what he had to get in, and then brought everybody back into what he said. And I'm like, see, that was great to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, he didn't say anything profound, but just to be able to control the crowd the way he did, I thought that was great.
Yeah. I thought the same. I thought it was good. Like you said, nothing profound, but the way he kind of manipulated the what chance, and then he didn't let it bother him. He just kind of went along with it and played his heel role.
Yep, he used it to his advantage. I'm like, I don't know why more people haven't figured this out.
All right, so last thing to talk about is the Miz and Logan Paul. I am not sure.
Oh yeah, we forgot about mentioning that for SummerSlam. How could we forget?
We forgot what?
To mention that on the SummerSlam card.
Oh yeah. You know why? Because I don't think I care. So.
Yeah, I don't. This match to me is months overdue. I mean, I get waiting this long because it's like one of the big four, but it's months overdue. Logan Paul is going to show up 2 weeks before the program and make us interested. I mean,
and this is not to just like this doesn't have thing because his in ring like that WrestleMania match and when he acquitted himself in the WrestleMania match was really good. Like he was really good in that match.
Yeah. But that's again learning to wrestle, but basically just doing spots. He's not calling anything in the ring. He's just doing a bunch of spots, which are designed to make him look good, which is why I worry about this match.
Well, Miz is the Natalia of the division. Anytime you want something done, give it to Miz. So I'm not worried about that because I know Miz is gonna make sure he's in the right spots and they're gonna go over the match. Like, I think the match will be good. My problem is, does anybody like Logan Paul enough? Like, I know they put it in his contract that he has to be a babyface, but I don't know how long. I don't know how long you can do that. So, because you can kind of tell the crowd they weren't flat, but they weren't exactly on either guy's side.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't
I don't know what the dynamic is. This match is going to be.
Because man, I told you it's months overdue. I kind of, in a way, wish this was going to be like a tag match. I would have more confidence in a Miz and Ciampa against Logan Paul and somebody like AJ Styles, maybe.
Yeah,
I would probably have more confidence in that. And that's a shame AJ Styles not even on this card. It's 2 pay-per-views in a row.
AJ's not on the card. The Intercontinental Championship is not on the card, but such is life. But yeah, man, I think the match will be good. The crowd reaction is going to drag this match down.
Yeah,
because they have Logan Paul miscast as a babyface. Because
that's what happens when you bring in celebrities and they think like, "Well, I need to be cast this way." No, you don't. Like, you know how the people feel about you,
right?
Like Logan Paul is a heel through and through, and like you want to be a babyface because you want people to like you and think being a heel is going to hurt you, but like, no, just like play your role.
Yeah,
being a babyface, it makes about as much sense as like Shaq disappearing out of an ambulance.
And on that note, this has been the KOD show with Brandon and Bryce, episode 8. Again, there's usually 4 of us. Like I said, the other 2 maybe here next week, maybe not. But tune in to find out the other 2 because they make up the foursome. They're pretty dope guys, I guess. So hopefully they're back next week. Well, I know James isn't back. So, but maybe, but maybe Hirsch joins us next week. But if not, you'll see me and Bryce again next week. We preview SummerSlam. Bryce, any parting words?
Hey man, eventually, man, you're gonna have to figure this out. We need some days off.
Right, we need to.
We ain't missed an episode.
We need that Roman Reigns schedule.
Oh, that's facts. That's gonna be like in the next negotiations.
Facts.
But no, I don't have nothing funny this week. I didn't even think this far ahead, man. You know, this has been a day at a time.
I hear you. Well, thank you guys for joining us on our first live. We're gonna go live Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. So please come back next week. If there's anything you want us to discuss, or if you have any questions, comments, or any suggestions, please drop them in the comments below. And please subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, that like button, and yeah, we'll be back with y'all next week. So again, thank y'all for joining. This has been the KOD Show.